Good to see you.
Okay.
You haven't really gone into detail.
We met...
Я
it
спрашивал.
seems terrifyingly long ago now.
How
I discovered my family had been overcharged. Our name carries a great deal of trust in Antiva. I spent apparently satisfied. Leliana greeted me in place of the merchant.
I assume there was more to it than a strange way to say hello.
It was a test of sorts. Leliana claimed she needed someone of painful integrity for the Inquisition. I accepted, once she finally explained what it was.
Do you remain?
Yes, but she's grown so much more distant than the outgoing woman I met. Leliana used to wander the Orlesian courts, singing the sweetest songs, charming. Now she collects secrets and takes risks that would make empires tremble. I worry, but she will not hear it.
Does Leliana
She enjoys revisiting our more disastrous adventures. Run if you ever see her with a twine ball, a measuring stick, and a handkerchief.
Who ruled?
Officially, the Principality of Antiva is governed by his... In reality, Antiva's merchant princes rule the country in everything but name. Quite loudly, I might add.
What sort of dealings did you have with these merchant families?
As ambassador, I attended Privy Council meetings in a mediatory capacity. May I just say, one has never heard an argument until they've sat in on 15 princes howling down each other's tariff suggestions.
Блин.
That sounds more like a mob than a meeting.
It's all a part of life in Antiva. Our traditions value passion and romance, a certain exuberance of style.
Are you positive you're Antivan?
I can be most exuberant when it's called for. Just at the right moments, and in a proper fashion. Might we speak of something else?
What's the land like in Antiva?
The settled areas are quite lush. The vineyards run as far as the eye can see in some places. Antiva City, however, are which is right up against the Rialto Bay. That's what I miss most. The sea crashing against the maze of the docks.
I have difficulty seeing you wandering around a trading port.
Everyone in Antiva City spends time by the ships, my lady. The finest restaurants and poets all make their habitation by the sea. The waterfronts never still. Lanterns are lit along the promenade no matter what the weather.
Are you ever homesick?
Occasionally. When a breeze stirs the trees in the garden, I sometimes pretend it's the sound of the surf. Do you know, I even miss those terrible squawking birds infesting the harbor. My youngest sister used to throw whole loaves of bread to the gulls. Silly thing.
Tell me about the Montiliers.
Well, my parents are alive and in good health. They live in our estate in Antiva City. Of my 4 siblings, most attend to the running of the family vineyards. That reminds me, I must ask someone to make sure Yvette attends the spring reception at the palace. My youngest sister has no head for social engagements.
Why are you overseeing your siblings' social lives?
It's Antivan custom. After a certain age, the heir apparent runs the family's estate to prove they're worthy of succession. If you're unfit for the task, the heads of the house, usually one's parents, may decree a new heir.
What do these Antivan heads of the households do if they don't run it?
They work and provide guidance. I've taken advice from my parents. Well, mostly mother. Father's more of an artist. It's rather gauche, but we never can dissuade him from running his own salons. Between him and my siblings, mother's looking forward to my taking over the estate.
Can you run your family's business and be the Inquisition's ambassador?
I won't let it interfere with the quality of my work for the Inquisition, I assure you. But managing the estate is my duty. As much work as it is, I will not shirk it.
Is running your family's estate that important to you?
I'm responsible for their welfare. A Montilier never shuns their familial duty. Taxing as those duties can sometimes be.
I think you're too finicky to give those responsibilities to the rest of your family.
You don't know them. But Lorien in charge, or Antoine, or Yvette? No, truly. It must be me.
Where were you raised, Josephine?
I was born in Antiva City, but when I turned 15, Mother declared I'd attend finishing school in Val Royeaux. But I bawled into her skirts the day I had to leave.
You must have missed her terribly.
I did. And she was most unsympathetic to my wailing. But my mother only wanted the best for me. Living in Orlais was an education in itself.
What did you learn at this finishing school in Val Royeaux?
Among other things, mathematics, rhetoric, poetry, history, logic, and a great deal of etiquette. I still remember Madame Beventir's switch on my knuckles when I forgot the basic tenets of Nevaran dining customs. For a dowager approaching her 80th year, she had quite the arm.
How did the younger you like Val Royeaux when you arrived?
Have you ever stepped into a new city and felt the buildings couldn't possibly be real? That was Val Royeaux to me. So beautifully foreign, I gaped at its spires for months.
Does Antiva City have nothing that compares to Val Royeaux?
Antiva City is a jewel among the capitals. But I did not appreciate that before I traveled. There are multitudes of places I'd like to see. Saharan, the Anderfels, whatever lies past the Amaranthine Ocean.
Let's speak later.
Another time. It's good to see you.
What do the people make?
We've gathered many favors among the nobility. They will be gently reminded of this.
Any visiting
Lady Drummond promised a visit. She has useful resources if we can.
What are her politics?
Oh, no, I meant actual games. Chess, cards, dice, little. She made me play that with her for 8 hours once. Steer her towards cards if she insists on a match. A pleasure.
What do the people...
We've gathered many favors among the nobility. They will be...
Any thought?
Who did you mean?
The Iron Bull has had to have made an impression.
He is a loud, unapologetic accident merely waiting to happen. I do wish he'd stop daring poor dignitaries to outdrink him.
I was thinking of Cassandra.
Seeker Pentagast is a princess of the Kingdom of Nevada, although that barely seems important to her. She was not interested when I asked if we might make use of her royal relation. Still, the Inquisition would not have formed without Cassandra. She's an extraordinary...
What do you think of Sir Blackwall?
Sir Blackwall seems as loyal to the purpose of the Inquisition as he is to the Wardens. His travels must have taken him strange places. I wish he'd speak more about them.
Commander Cullen came to mind.
The commander is an intelligent, cautious man. I'm grateful he's in charge of our standing army. Still, he does sometimes resemble the man with a hammer to whom everything appears as a nail.
What's your impression of Solus?
I suppose I should be wary of an apostate, but our elven mage has conducted himself with the utmost propriety. And he has the most fascinating stories.
I'd love to know how you and Sarah get along.
I know she extracts gossip from the servants, and she keeps prying into things. Sarah's ability to vanish whenever her mischief's discovered must come in handy, however, I'm sure.
I was thinking of Varric.
Oh, I could listen to his tales for hours. He actually let me read a chapter of his next book he's writing. My friends would be sick with envy if they knew. It's excellent, but a bit different from his past works. Only 3 beheadings so far.
Cole, actually.
Who? Oh, wait, you mean the quiet young man? How strange. I'm sure we must have talked, yet I can't recall what we discussed.
You must have an opinion of Dorian.
Who hasn't? The man could cause a scene standing quietly in the center of an empty room. Still, I do believe he has your best interest at heart, for all that he delights in mocking them from time to time.
Let's...
Farewell. Worship?
Put that stuff aside. Take a break.
Best advice I've ever heard. I've been meaning to come talk to you anyhow. I never officially joined the Inquisition. I don't know how to do this disciplehood thing. I'm a businessman. Never really followed a chosen one before.
I don't need a disciple. I need a friend.
If you knew how intimidating you are, you wouldn't make it sound so simple. You just don't know what you are to the people out there. The Herald of Andraste is a symbol bigger than any of us.
There's no way I can be bigger than myself, Varric.
Sure you can. You don't see yourself like they do. The sky tears open, demons everywhere. To ordinary folks, these are the end times. The only hope they have is you. You're the sign that somebody might hear their prayers. That maybe they're not abandoned after all. You heard the crowd singing after Haven was attacked?
Whatever I am to Thedas, I'm still just an ordinary person.
So, Just a regular person, like anybody else. Right. I should probably get back to work. Unless, you up for a game of Wicked Grace? What can I do for you, Inquisitor?
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
Thanks, Varric.
Nope. Looking for someone to talk your ear off? I think I can oblige.
What are your...
If there's anybody out there who hasn't joined the Inquisition, they're hiding under a rock. Did you want to take over Ferelden? I think we might be able to conquer it just by looking east.
What do you think of our general?
Find him a war or something. If he spends any more time in the yard drilling, Josephine will have him killed.
How do you think Josephine is handling the job of ambassador?
If this Inquisition thing doesn't work out, I may hire her to deal with the Merchants Guild. She'd own them before breakfast.
What do you think of Leliana's work?
Do you want to know what the Arishok had for breakfast this morning? I think she can tell you.
Good to know.
Back to work. What can I do for you, Inquisitor?
I want to know...
I'll tell you what I can. What can I do for you, Inquisitor?
I read your tale of the
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
Carry on.
Hello.
I need to...
You shamed him when you destroyed him. It would be... He will return to his plans to throw Olay
We'll talk...
dark.
Anything interesting?
A letter regarding Felix, Alexius's son. He went to the Magisterium, stood on the Senate floor and told them of you. A glowing testimonial, I'm informed. No news on the reaction, but everyone back home is talking. Felix always was as good as his word.
Was?
He's dead. The Blight caught up with him.
Are you all right?
He was ill, and thus on borrowed time anyhow.
That doesn't mean you can't regret his death.
I know. Felix used to sneak me treats from the kitchens when I was working late in his father's study. Don't get into trouble on my behalf, I tell him. I like trouble, he'd say. Tevinter could use more mages like him. Those who put the good of others above themselves.
Were the two of you...
Felix and I? What an odd question. No. I had no intention of abusing Alexius's hospitality by seducing his son. Not that I've been proper my whole life, by any means. It wasn't like that. Even in illness, Felix was the best of us. With him around, you knew things could be better.
You make it sound like he was a better person than you.
What a mad thing to say. Few people are better than I. Very well, a better person, clearly, not nearly as handsome. Thankfully, Felix wasn't the only decent sort kicking around Thedas. They tell me you sent Alexius back into the prisons. Seems a waste to rot away in a cell like that. He was a good man once. Maybe it will give him time to think. But with Felix gone, I doubt it.
You said Alexius was...
He was my patron, sponsoring me to the higher levels of the Circle of Magi. I had a lot of successes. He and I used to talk over brandy about the corruption. How we could one day make real change in the Imperium. And then he... gave up. stopped trying.
Why did he?
On a journey to Hosburg, a Darkspawn raid killed his wife and sickened his son. I remember hearing the news. He hadn't been there, you see. Alexius was convinced he could have protected them. And the guilt tore him up. I helped him with his research for a while, and then we drifted apart.
That must have been difficult.
Back then, I was furious. I told him to snap out of it, move on. I thought I had all the answers. Later, I regretted my hasty words. But we didn't speak again until he approached me for the Venatori. Too much pride, I suppose. Plus, I was busy drinking. One must have priorities.
Was it hard being away from him?
It was hard not having a patron, yes. I'm not exactly built to fit in. At any rate, he's fallen so low, I doubt he'll ever get up. Sad, really.
I'd like to...
Popular topic. Anything specific?
Corypheus is a figure out of Tevinter history. He was a magister.
Yes, but that was a different time. The Imperium's power was at its peak then. The Civil War had ended. The Magisterium was united, its armies scooping up bits of Thedas like candy. The Magisters who entered the Black City. It was a demonstration of how exceptional Tevinter had become.
But who were they?
No one knows. There's no record of a Magister named Corypheus. All this happened 1400 years ago, before the Blight nearly wiped us out. There are no records. Today, people half believe it's all just a story. That's what I believed.
We have evidence the story is very much real.
But not who Corypheus is. If he even remembers. There used to be families who claimed some of those Magisters as their own. That stopped when the Chantry appeared. Then it was shameful, and the families distanced themselves from the tale. All we know is that some men and women entered the Black City looking for the old gods. What did they find? According to Corypheus, nothing. And only he could tell us more.
That's all I wanted to know.
Fair enough.
I should go.
Try not to kill anyone. The Inquisitor's work is never done, I see.
Far be it for me to suggest a training adjustment. Inquisitor. What is it?
I'd like to know more about...
How sweet of you, my dear. But I'm sure there's no...
request has been made of you, Inquisitor. Here it is. What is your evaluation of how we're doing?
Adequate, based on the partial improvements to Skyhold.
As you were.
Yes, Inquisitor.
At your service, my lady.
Anything I should know?
I've nothing to report at the moment.
I'll leave you to your work.
There is something I wish to discuss, Inquisitor. My Lady Inquisitor, it's good of you to speak with me. I have news regarding one of your companions, the Tevinter.
Nothing good, I expect.
If you have reservations about his presence here, I share them. But this is another matter. I have been in contact with his family. House Pavas out of Carenas. Are you familiar with them?
Familiar? We've never met, if that's what you're suggesting.
I'm suggesting nothing. I'm only curious whether you know of his situation. The family sent a letter describing the estrangement from their son and pleading for my aid. They've asked to arrange a meeting quietly without telling him. They fear it's the only way he'll come. Since you seem to be on good terms with the young man, I'd hoped.
Are you sure this isn't some kind of trap? I mean, the secrecy.
That did occur to me. What if it is a plot of those mages, the Venatori? Another reason to put this in your hands, Inquisitor. I pray that isn't the case. But if it is, you are far better equipped than I to respond to such treachery.
Just what kind of meeting do they have in mind?
I believe they just want to talk, to understand why Dorian felt he had to come here. Somewhere private, away from Skyhold, but not in Tevinter. You make them nervous, I think. They don't understand why he's here with the Inquisition. They want him to come home.
I imagine you'd be relieved to see him gone.
If this is what it seems, and it works out, it might be better for all concerned.
Why would his family contact you?
Because they don't know you, Inquisitor. I am not of the Imperial Chantry, but they know what I represent. These are parents concerned about the welfare of their son. How could I not do whatever possible? I would speak to the young man myself, but he does not care for me. Thus I come to you. If any good can come of this, we must try.
They don't want Dorian to know. That seems odd.
They believe the young man would refuse, and the letter implies he'd have cause. Yet, they are remorseful for whatever came before. This is a chance for dialogue. There is deceit in bringing the young man to this meeting without his foreknowledge, I know. But does it not lead to a greater kindness if there is potential for reconciliation?
Так он же говорил, что, блядь, Хотя он скучает вроде бы поэтому, но он, типа, ну, он не хочет. Что там написал? Ладно.
If you think I'm going to trick Dorian into meeting his family,
I feared you might say that. The family will send a retainer to meet the young man at the Red Cliff Tavern, to take him onward. If he truly does not wish this reunion, he can always end the matter there. I pray you change your mind, Inquisitor. Perhaps their letter will persuade you. If there is any chance of success in this, it behooves us to act.
Ваше преподобие. Понимаю, что вам покажется неуместная моя просьба привести Дориана на тайную встречу, мне самому не верить, что я об этом прошу, но поскольку мой сын оборвал все связи и не отвечает на письма, это единственный способ. Я не знаю, он слишком гордый, чтобы даже просто прийти поговорить, а ведь ведь большего нам и не надо. Не могу говорить, как нас тревожит мысль, что Дориан где-то на юге подвергает себя опасности. Слуга семьи будет ждать Дориан в Вандерских холмах. Он ответ мальчик на встрече с нами в укромном месте. Если Дориан откажется идти с ним, так тому и быть, ничего не поделаешь. Больше мы ничего не придумаем. Больше мы ничего придумать не можем. Искренне ваши магистры головы туда мчался. Да подумал, сообщу, чего нет. Че у меня обманывать Дорианса, нихуя, мой друг.
The Inquisitor's work is never done, I see.
Dorian, there's a letter you need to see.
A letter? Is it a naughty letter? A humorous proposal from some Antivan dowager?
Not quite. It's from your father.
From my father. I see. And what does Magister Hallward want, pray tell?
A meeting.
Show me this letter.
I know my son? What my father knows of me would barely fill a thimble. This is so typical.
I'm willing to bet this retainer is a henchman, hired to knock me on the head and drag me back to Tevinter.
That would be hard to do while I stood there.
He expects me to travel with Mother Giselle, although Maker knows why he'd think I would. Let's go. Let's meet this so-called family retainer. If it's a trap, we escape and kill everyone. You're good at that. If it's not, I send the man back to my father with a message that he can stick his alarm in his wit's end.
There seems to be bad blood between you and your family.
Interesting turn of phrase. But you're correct. They don't care for my choices, nor I for theirs.
Because you wouldn't get married? Because you left?
That too.
Let's go meet this retainer then.
I wonder how much my father paid this man to wait around just in case I showed. We'll find out soon enough.
Так если он не хочет говорить, дофига парить тебя.
Stone Mad, Inquisitor.
Do you have insight into the stories these times?
Who better, right?
Так как же она долго растет?
I am at your service.
What is your evaluation of our supplies?
We are well supplied, and I foresee only better to come.
Where did you receive your training?
I studied with Adan after he left the service of the King of Ferelden. Well, when the king was no longer there to serve. Our College of Associates tends to meet informally. I've since been fortunate enough to serve various heads of state. They are all as good as another, truth be told. My skills and contacts are better suited to more imminent need.
Are there others who could come to Skyhold?
They are helping now. I have contacted many of our finest, and their influence is not inconsequential. They are not, shall we say, prone to take the field, but we will be well supplied.
I take it you're a city elf, not Dale.
It's not a useful identifier. I am an elf. I'm sure that much was immediately obvious. It's of little concern. I have skill enough to be evaluated by what I can do.
My associates appreciate my work.
As you were.
Of course, Inquisitor.
Так, где тут мать Джедай?
Herald of Andraste.
Can you tell me how our people are...
What would you like to know?
How are our...
Still in shock. You saved me. For all your Inquisition is growing.
Do you have an...
The refugees in the hinterlands are desperate. With villagers in Crestwood up, people are van. More than that, I cannot say. It is
Farewell.
farewell. Your worship.
Growing up Dalish, I heard...
Of course. Too many. The truth is that knowledge of the Maker and we believe the Maker created us, and that mankind's sin. With Andraste's blessing, the Maker will forgive mankind once the chant of light is sung from all corners of this world.
What is your...
Andraste put it simply. However, those words must be put into the prop. Andraste led a rebellion against it. Even then, she never called for all mages to be put to death.
I don't recall the chantry being...
No. The chantry is an Yet the Templars rebelled precisely because divine Justinia was not restrictive in... Perhaps the Inquisition will find a better way.
Why does the chantry allow only human women to become priestesses?
The official doctrine is that elves and dwarves have turned... And as for men, the chant holds that they are more vulnerable. But in truth, it is simply political. Added after Andraste's death, like too many of our beliefs.
If you don't believe these restrictions are what Andraste wanted, why haven't you tried to change them?
Has the current state of the world not taught you the folly of fighting too many battles at once? I chose to use what power I had to help peasants forgotten by the nobles of Orlais. I believed there would be time to address their inequality under the chantry once we had saved them from starving.
There were calls for an exalted march to put down the Mage Rebellion. What was your opinion?
It was ignorant gossip. An exalted march only Even then, it cannot be undertaken lightly. People are too easily frightened. We cannot destroy everything they fear. An exalted march is justified only against a true threat to this whole world. It is an offense to the Maker to use it as a political bludgeon, or as a means of spreading the chant of light.
A pity voices like yours were not louder when an exalted march crushed my people.
That is a hotly debated matter in some circles of the chantry. Your people had conquered Montsemerd and threatened Valreo itself. They were not helpless victims. But even then, Orlais was the only nation to provide troops. It was hardly an exalted march of all the faithful. The Maker wishes his world to spread by example, not by war. We win no converts with blood.
Farewell.
Until next time.
Inquisitor.
No one to watch over, your worship. We either have many friends, or you've made short work of enemies.
Thank you for Haven. Less so for Redcliffe, but I am committed to serve your worship. Inquisitor.
Going well, I hope?
What's been going on?
That strange boy came in with an armful of chickens. You're looking after him, right?
Shouldn't you be out there?
In a bit. Not me, though. Indispensable.
So, who's scout?
Me? When the Inquisition... Then I signed on. Wanted to see the world.
What's been...
Just waiting to get back out there. Just waiting to get back out there.
Somewhat off-color today, Inquisitor? An excess of bile, perhaps? Might I bleed you, or offer a herbal tonic?
Подожди. Не помню, что я... Чего тут было? Что у тебя есть?
Inquisitor, you have come to the attention of the powerful, and I am the response. Monsieur Faris at your service. You will find my wares unique. I sell influence.
Даже покупать. Думаю, надо все покупать, на самом деле. Вообще все. Дорого.
We've a chance. A real one.
Glad I'm working with you.
am at your service.
How are you
Building. Always building. Thanks to you.
Skyhold needs a healthy flow.
Free the trade routes of obstruction. Restore security to the outposts. The key.
Короче, я понял.
Your worship, I suppose.
Fine.
Inquisition?
Ну что, олени?
Inquisition? Inquisition?
How are your charges?
Surprisingly well. Not many could feed these people, let alone their mounts. Makes me...
Heard any?
Heard rumors of... Keep up with your researcher and your creatures, Inquisition. Make a...
Inquisitor?
Varric's friend Hawk said there were suspicions of corruption in Grey Warden ranks. Do you know anything about that?
Corruption? What sort of corruption?
Corypheus. He's been known to influence the minds of Wardens.
That could very well explain why so many have disappeared.
Yes, disappeared. Not you, though.
Have I given you any reason to doubt me? I won't answer to this, not when it's founded on rumor.
Да, блядь, я не про это.
What do you think of the Inquisition?
I just know that you could shake this world to its foundations if you willed it.
We should...
As you would.
Да не, ну братан, ну я же не в этом плане. Типа я к тому, что... Ну ты это... Ну типа то, что ты остался, вопрос, почему ты остался вообще. Ну, наверное, не только ты, там и другие, но...
I'm here. That could very well explain why so many have disappeared.
If this is true, then all Wardens are in danger. Even you. We'd better find your brothers.
I agree. If Hawk's given you an idea where to start, we should get...
Интересно, а если я спрошу? Как же он?
Inquisitor? That could very well explain why so...
Are you feeling all right?
If I start hearing things, I promise you'll be the first to know.
There's a rumor that Corypheus is in league with Elven...
This is amazing! Convincing the Keeper took work, but I'm so glad you managed.
Inquisitor?
What's the current mood?
Ennui.
What's the...
Quiet. Too quiet. No, wait. Just quiet enough.
As you were.
Нам надо повеселиться, я понял.
Inquisitor. That's got a good... We're happy to be here, Your Worship. If you need anything, let me know.
Can we talk about the book?
Best company you'll find from here to the Anderfells. We're expensive, but you'll never doubt we're worth it. Want to know anything in particular?
Are there rules for how mercenaries operate?
If you don't want some noble to treat you like bandits, yes. There's also a code of conduct most companies hold to. Keeps things civilized on the battlefield. We accept surrenders for ransom from mercenaries, nobles, and soldiers wearing a lord's colors. Our prisoners are treated well, injuries tended. We'd want the same for any of ours who got captured.
You said something about everything from bandits to magic trees. I'll admit to some curiosity.
Right. Sylvans. That's what Dalish called them. Apparently spirits can possess trees too. Some noble in the Dales, and they really don't like it when you call them Dalish nobles, had a haunted forest. His family had abandoned the land, but he wanted it back. The chief bought us all axes, and in we went. Between the axes and the torches, the Sylvans weren't too bad. Worst part was the squirrels.
Do the Chargers specialize in anything from a tactical standpoint?
Bull doesn't want us large enough to work as an army. We're better as shock troops, as skirmishers. We've got archers for hitting enemy infantry, Dalish with more archery, and Skinner and her people on the flanks. Rocky handles fortifications and traps, and Stitches keeps us all fighting. They mostly hold back. I'll lead the frontline fighters with Grim, and the chief goes wherever he can hit something.
We'll talk...
Your worship?
Iron Bull said the Chargers were at my disposal.
I suspect Haven's quiet by now. Might be worth sending the boys back. We could recover some supplies, get an idea about the enemy's strength. We could even pick up any stragglers who haven't found Skyhole yet.
I'd like to know more about the Iron...
The chief. I never thought I'd work for a Canary, but he grows on. He's not like any commander I've ever worked for. That's for damn sure.
How did a Tevinter soldier...
I wasn't a soldier at the time. I was in some trouble, trying to flee Tevinter. A Tribune and his men caught me in a border town tavern. They meant to make an example of me. Bull killed them. Gave up his eye doing it. Patched me up and asked if I was looking for work. I've been putting up with his jokes ever since.
That's how he lost the eye?
Yes. The guards had me on the tavern floor when Bull came inside and yelled for them to stop. One of them saw trouble coming and figured he'd finish me off. The guard had a flare. Bull put himself between me and the blow. Big-horned idiot. Didn't even know me.
How's Iron Bull as a commander?
If you know what you're doing and hold up your end, he's easy. He doesn't accept any less. He keeps us alive, he leads from the front, and if you've an idea that'll win the fight, he listens. I've seen bands whose captains had to prove they were swinging the biggest sword. Bull isn't like that. The Chargers might give him more lip than you'd expect, but every one of us would lay down our lives for the big ass.
Is it strange to work for a Kunari?
He hasn't tried to convert us to the Qun, if that's what you're asking. Bull's Chargers don't care who you light a candle for, so long as your shield stays up. If he hadn't told me he was Ben Hasrath, I'd have thought he left that life behind.
I didn't expect he'd tell you all that he was a spy.
Not the whole band, but those who've been around long enough to trust. He figures most of us would find out sooner or later, and it should come from him. Eyes to eye, he says. It's never messed up a job. He just writes letters back home. Lots of the boys write letters back home.
We'll talk later.
Inquisitor, come have a drink.
Да, выпьем.
To killing a high dragon like warriors of legend.
What exactly am I supposed to be drinking?
Maraslok.
What does that mean?
Что это значит?
It means drink.
А это значит drink. Выпьем. Нифига там. Хорош.
I know, right? Put some chest on your chest. That little gurgle right before it spat fire. And that roar. What I wouldn't give to roar like that. The way the ground shook when it landed. The smell of the fires burning.
Бля, дракон сожрался, да.
Halsam.
Ты там был.
You know,
И сдох.
Kunari hold dragons sacred. Well, as much as we hold anything sacred.
Here, your turn.
That thing you just said, you shouted it during the fight, too. What does it mean?
Oh, Tarsadathan Halsam. Closest translation would be, I will bring myself sexual pleasure later, while thinking about this with great respect.
You shouted that while it was breathing fire at us.
I know, right?
Сука. 100 лет мне бухать.
Yes, the second cup's easier. Most of the nerves in your throat are dead after the first one. Atashi, the glorious ones. That's our word for them. Atashi.
Why do you think the Gunari think of dragons that way?
Well, you know how we have horns. We kind of look more dragony than most people. Maybe it's that. But a few of the Ben Hasrath have this crazy old theory. See, the Tamasrans control who we mate with. They breed us for jobs like you'd breed dogs or horses. What if they mixed in some dragon a long time ago? Maybe drinking the blood, maybe magic, I don't know. But something in that dragon we killed spoke to me.
It's a shame we had to kill the dragon.
Damn good fight. Dragons are the embodiment of raw power. But it's all uncontrolled. Savage. So, they need to be destroyed. Taming the wild. Order out of chaos. Have another drink.
Сука. Я сейчас сдохну.
Nice.
За драконов.
To dragons!
To dragons! Да ему самому херово. За мерзкое пойло, блядь.
So whatever this is and the hangover it's going to give me tomorrow.
Anan!
Блядь, пиздец, нахуй. За мерзкий напиток, нахуй. Хуярит спит, блядь.
What can I do for you?
See you later.
Nice talk.
I'll ask around again tomorrow.
Сука. Какой же троллицкий. Я его обожаю. Зря его со мной бегает. Ну, не на дракона, конечно. Дракон он слишком слабенький. Но так, если по миру исследовать, да, он хороший. Ну, дамажит дофига, поэтому его было брать. Его брать, не брать было бы плохо.
Getting serious about mage stuff, magic, things. How about not so much? Just asking for not so much magic.
Ты не годишься.
Great, yeah?
Are things playing out the way...
Cassandra laid it out, right? You're the big hat now. Praying's nice, I suppose.
What?
Again, with your people. Right, which ones?
What about...
I've seen how you look at him. You're in it. Bet he calls out elven glory when he does it.
What do you think?
Now, Josephine and Cullen. Varric, not as buttoned up as she plays, right?
What about...
He's fun. Could lose a bit more to Vin.
What about...
I'm not saying nothing about that. That thing is just wrong.
What?
She's a bitch, but she knows.
Thoughts on...
He makes me wonder... I mean, what do their women look like? Woof.
Any thoughts about...
He's too good, right? Like, good.
You're different. It shines on you, shimmering, sharp. You made magic from the rifts.
Do I seem that different to you?
The Fade sticks to mages. Little figments flitting, floating free, then forced into shapes. Fire, ice, lightning. You use the Fade itself. You make it charged, but not changed. Channeled enchantments. It's strong and pure, and loud. You ripple like water when the stone is dropped.
I take it not all mages feel the way I do.
Solus is the same, but quieter. The Fade is his friend. He doesn't need to look to know where it goes. Vivienne is crisp and cool. The Fade dances, darts, lashed and leashed. Dorian pulls at pieces, pushing them to bodies. I like him more when it's just fire. And the Venatori are dark and hard and cracked and old. They pull the Fade with blood and pain and ancient lying whispers.
I hope you like the way I feel now.
Yes. It's different, but familiar. It reminds me of me. Did you need me?
Can you explain how your mind works?
Yes?
It must be sad feeling everyone's pain all the time.
Why?
Isn't it?
No. I help. I find wounds and heal them. I salve, soothe, save. I see pain and make it better. How could I not be happy?
Walk me through the way you help someone.
I start by listening. I hear hurt, feel it fretting. Some you can solve by giving something, food, a blanket, sleep. Some are intangible, terrible tangles that catch on a crack, fixed, festering, and the person makes a pearl of pain. I shake it loose. No pearl, no pain. They can hope, they can heal.
Sometimes you say things that relate to other members of the Inquisition.
They remember me. Their eyes stick, some more. They want me to be. Varric is quiet inside. He pulls me more to hear, makes me a person, calls me kid, a friend. Solus, bright and sad, observes and accepts. Spirit self, seeing the soul, Solus, but somehow sorrows.
What do you sense when you focus on me?
You're too bright. Like counting birds against the sun. The mark makes you more, but past it, you reach across. Mindful, meaning. You pull it through to this side, make it real here. And past that, the weight of all on you. All the hopes you carry, fears you fight. You are theirs. It must be very hard. I hope I help.
I'll talk to you later.
How do you know? Roderick was sorry before he died.
I wasn't aware you and Roderick were acquainted.
He was hurt. Red inside from the Templar, but red outside from the Templar too. Needed help to walk. Limping, light, leaning on the young like old Pepe when the road was icy. He called me a fine young man. He said he was sorry for what he did to you.
You didn't try to end his suffering, did you?
No. He was dying already, and he welcomed it. The pain wasn't too much. He saw it at the end. Loving light, open arms. Andraste taking him home. He was happy. And sorry.
Roderick was a pebble in the Inquisition's boot. A little remorse seems only fair.
Blood everywhere. Monsters, madness, dying. We're all dying. The Herald stands against it, and heads turn. Desperate and simple. Pure. Voices in the chantry. Years since I'd sung the song, and so long since I'd felt it. Falling, flying, faith, and I fought her. Make her forgive me. I hope I... Roderick was sorry before he died. He called me a fine young man. He said he was sorry for what he did to you.
Did he tell you why he was sorry?
Blood everywhere. The Herald's voices so long. He hates it all because of the darkness behind the door. Some doors should stay shut.
I'd like to talk about what happened to you before we met.
Before you, Reese was my friend. He showed me I was wrong to kill the mages. I thought I was helping them. Then he and Evangeline went to Adamant, and I went with them. I was worried Evangeline would hurt Reese. We found out dangerous things. It scared Seeker Lambert, and he scared the mages. It started the rebellion. Seeker Lambert told me what I was. Reese couldn't look at me. I ran until I found more Templars. That's all.
What can you tell me about Adamant Fortress?
It is old, full of sadness and pain. It should be torn down. The veil is thin. We found a demon there. It had touched a man and made him real again. It scared Reese and Evangeline. The man wasn't supposed to be real. Then the demon found us. It put me back in the cupboard on the bad day. Reese and Evangeline saved me.
You said Seeker Lambert told you what you were.
I'm hiding Reese from him, but he chants words and sees. I won't let you hurt Reese. My nose explodes, a shower of blood. Just another parasite that's wormed its way into our world, feeding off all the things you can't have. What we found at Adamant made him angry. We were the first rock rolling at the top of a mountain. He had to stop us. He killed so many. He didn't care. Cold, corrupt. So I came and killed him.
If you hated Seeker Lambert, why go to the Seeker Fortress?
Because he was right. I was a demon. I saw demons at Adamant. They put people in the dark, in the old hurts. I didn't want to be that. I heard the old songs of the Templars at Val Royeaux and followed them. If I forgot, fought, fell to felling, Templars would kill the demon. I wouldn't hurt anyone again.
What was the Spire like when the Mage Rebellion started?
Dead and dying, begging and bloody. Some wanted freedom, some peace, some war. Some wanted it all to stop. Evangeline was a Templar, but she helped Reese help the others. She set them free. Adrian was a mage, but she killed mages to force the fight. She wanted blood. Reese just wanted to help, to stop people hurting. Maybe that's why he saw me.
What can you tell me about Reese?
He was a mage. He saw me when most couldn't, and he remembered. He helped me, and I watched over him. I worried Evangeline would hurt him. She was a Templar, but she didn't like hurting people. When I left, she stayed. Now she watches over him. They should have been with the rebels. Maybe they ran away together instead. Neither of them like killing.
If you like, I could use the resources of the Inquisition to locate your friend.
No. If they are alive and safe, they should stay away. The last time he saw me, He didn't want to look at me. He saw a monster. Let him forget.
What did you mean when you said you killed mages?
Some of the mages at the spire wanted to die. Too sad, too scared, too much. I didn't know what I was. A ghost, I thought. Fading in the fade. When I came to them, they could see me. I used the knife to set them free. When Reese found out, he made me stop, made me understand. There were other ways to help. I didn't know.
It sounds like you didn't know what you were doing.
No, I killed people. I knew. I just thought I had to. They were hurting, helpless, haunted. It was all I could do. It was wrong. I was wrong. If I start again, you or Cassandra or Cullen need to kill me.
I'll talk to you later.
Probably. Never trust half an elf.
I'd like to talk with you about
They're heavy with forgotten songs, like Varric. Some of them are too loud. It's hard to stay near them. Cullen is softer, but demons asked questions that hurt him. Evangeline was kinder. I want to explain, but Reese's mother spoke to spirits, but not to him. Then she died for a Templar he loved. Words just bounce off the edges.
What's your general opinion of Templars?
Some like hurting mages. It makes them happy, or less afraid, or dreams again. Woke up shaking, stalking the ground for one who looks like her. Always some rule being broken. But not all Templars listen when whispers crawl around inside them. They try to protect people, like Cullen. The good ones remember that mages are people.
Can you tell me more about how the Templars feel to you?
They feel older than they look. They've been changed, and their bodies are incomplete now. Delirium helps, but their bodies always want to connect to something older, bigger than they are. That's why they block magic. They reach for that other thing, and magic has no room to come in. Like when I listen to Varric.
Can you tell me more about how the Red Templars are different?
The red lyrium is different, darker, daggers under the skin. It eats you inside until you're nothing. They hear a different song. The song behind the door old whispers want opened. They are dead and dark and done.
I'll talk to you later.
How do you know? He hunts the killer, but he's the one who killed her. He can't remember.
I'd like to talk.
I don't understand it. People talk like it's a dagger can be a way to let pain out, but even if the Inquisition isn't real unless it has something real to make it. It's like a spirit.
I've heard about some oddities here in the keep. Was that you?
Yes. Maybe. What was it?
Can I assume you're responsible for the turnips that have shown up in the fireplaces?
They don't smell the same, raw.
You needed that soldier to smell them so he could die thinking he'd gone home.
He did go home.
Someone is leaving peeled plums on the windowsill. It's attracting flies.
Spiders need to eat.
And healers need something to treat infected wounds. Like spiderwebs.
The plums are already dead. They don't mind helping.
I'll talk to you later.
How do you know? The The left hand remembers a knife slipped to her in the darkness and wonders why the flower blooms.
I'll talk to you later.
How d
If you say so. Sure.
Of course. Yes, sir.
You knew where Hawk was all along.
You're damned right I did.
You conniving little shit.
You kidnapped me. You interrogated me. What did you expect?
I expected you to tell the truth. I told you what was at stake.
So I just hand him over on your say-so? It's okay, Hawk. This zealot isn't crazy. I promise. Look at her. She's finally lost it.
This would be funny if it wasn't also kind of sad.
We needed someone to lead this Inquisition. First, Liliana and I searched for the hero of Ferelden, but she had vanished. Then we looked for Hawk, but he was gone too. We thought it all connected, but no. It was just you. You kept him from us.
The Inquisition has a leader.
Hawk would have been at the Conclave if anyone could have saved Most Holy.
Сволочь ты, Варик.
Varric's not responsible for what happened at the Conclave.
I was protecting my friend.
Varric is a liar, Inquisitor. A snake. Even after the Conclave, when we needed Hawk most, Varric kept him secret.
He's with us now. We're on the same side.
We all know whose side you're on, Varric. It will never be the Inquisition's.
That's unworthy of you.
I must not think of what could have been. We have so much at stake. Go, Varric. Just go.
You know what I think? If Hawk had been at the temple, he'd be dead too. You people have done enough to him.
I believed him. He spun his story for me, and I swallowed it. If I just explained what was at stake, if I just made him understand. But I didn't, did I? I didn't explain why we needed Hawk. I'm such a fool.
What if you hadn't believed him and you'd tracked Hawk down?
Honestly, Hawk might not even have agreed to become Inquisitor. He supported the Mage Rebellion, after all. He wouldn't have trusted me for a second. But this isn't about Hawk, or even Varric. Not truly. I should have been more careful. I should have been smarter. I don't deserve to be here.
Have you looked at our Inquisition, Cassandra? We're all fools here.
Is that supposed to make me feel better?
More at home, maybe.
I want you to know, I have no regrets. Maybe if we'd found Hawk or the hero of Ferelden, the Maker wouldn't have needed to send you. But he did. You're not what I'd pictured. But if I've learned anything, it's that I know less than nothing.
You kidnapped me! You interrogated me! What did you expect?
Hey, enough! You're taking his side? I said enough! We needed someone to lead this Inquisition. First, Liliana and I searched for the hero of... Then we looked for Hawk, but he was gone too. It was just...
The Inquisition...
Hawk would have been at the Conclave if anyone could have saved Most Holy...
Varric's not responsible for what happened at the Conclave.
I was protecting my friend.
Varric is a liar, Inquisitor. A snake. Even after the Conclave, when we needed Hawk most...
He's with us now.
We all know whose side you're on, Varric. It will never be the Inquisition's.
Attacking him now won't help us, Cassandra.
Ha! Exactly.
And you better not be keeping anything else from us.
I understand.
I must not think of what could have been. We have... Go.
You know what I think? If all... You people have done enough.
I'm such a fool. I don't deserve to be here.
Have you looked at our... More...
I won't... Maybe... But you're... Something is troubling me, Inquisitor. Liliana is receiving reports of mages becoming possessed, Templars going rogue. No one is dealing with these matters. I was hoping we might, before they get worse.
We can certainly look into it.
I will mark these incidents on the map as I learn of them, Inquisitor. And I would be pleased to accompany you if and when you investigate.
I have some more questions.
Why am I not surprised?
Tell me about...
I would prefer not to speak of Anthony. Another...
I'll let you...
Greetings.
Do you have any advice for me?
Tell that demon, what does it call itself? Cole. Tell it to leave. He may not mean harm, but that does not mean he will not harm us. Spirits are not creatures to take at face value. Be cautious with him, Inquisitor.
Do you have any advice?
Treat Dorian with caution. It's possible he could be what he seems. A Tevinter mage wishing to do... What if he is not? At best, his presence makes the Inquisition appear to have questionable allies.
Do you have any advice for me?
Watch the treasury carefully. With that...
You think she's here to rob us?
Possibly not, but I would hardly put it past her.
Do you have any...
It's good that you recruited Enchante Vivian into the Inquisition. She is ambitious, but has always... My advice would be to watch her, but heed her when she speaks. That one wastes no words.
Do you have any advice for me?
Watch the new recruits. Liliana says spies are inevitable, and I agree.
Do you have any advice for me?
Nothing that you could not think of yourself, Inquisitor.
Do you...
We must root out the Red Templars. They form the butt.
Do you have...
Nothing that you could not think...
Do you have...
We must root out the Red Templars. That... Another...
Вроде бы как все. Должен только с Каденом поговорить немного и все. С Каденом я вроде разговаривал.
Gloat all you like. I have this one.
Are you sassing me, Commander? I didn't know you had it in you.
Why do I even... Inquisitor.
Leaving, are you? Does this mean I win?
Are you two playing nice?
I'm always nice. You need to come to terms with my inevitable victory. You'll feel much better.
Really? Because I just won, and I feel fine.
Don't get smug. There will be no living with you.
I should return to my duties as well. Unless you would care for a game.
Prepare the board, Commander.
As a child, I played this with my sister. She would get this stuck-up grin whenever she won, which was all the time. My brother and I practiced together for weeks. Oh, the look on her face the day I finally won. Between serving the Templars and the Inquisition, I haven't seen them in years. I wonder if she still plays.
You have siblings?
2 sisters and a brother.
Where are they now?
They moved to South Reach after the Blight. I do not write to them as often as I should. Ah, it's my turn.
All right, let's see what you've got.
This may be the longest we've gone without discussing the Inquisition or related matters. To be honest, I appreciate the distraction.
Бля, ну, бля, Калин просто... Не замутить с Калланом, это тоже грех, мне кажется. Я влюблен. Хо-хо. Нет, на самом деле.
You can't be serious all the time. Well, maybe you can.
I believe this one is yours. Well played.
Ну, это из-за магии, но из-за хитрости. Ну, я выиграл из-за хитрости. Дорогая моя, я до сих пор жив, твой любящий брат Калин. Нет, честное слово, неужели так трудно написать 3 фразы? Мы думали, ты погиб снова, не будь Инквизиции у всех на устах. Мы бы так и не услышали, что славный командир вышел в убежище. Северим рассказывают много странностей о храмовниках. Хорошо, что ты от них ушел. Я думал, ты подал в отставку, потому что только в Инквизицию. Но дело было не только в этом, да? Глупо просить тебя беречь себя, но ты уж просто попытайся, пожалуйста. Твоя любящая сестра. Видишь, как просто Мия. Прикольно.
Yes?
Is there anything I should know?
I'm glad to have the charges on our side. Bull's men are professionals, despite evidence to the contrary.
What do you...
Who do you mean?
Are you...
Our soldiers are well... Templars and mages are not used to seeing each other as allies. But they are working together well enough.
I should...
Хочу проверить.
Was there something you needed?
Did you leave anyone behind in Kirkwall?
No. I fear I made few friends there, and my family's in Ferelden.
No one special caught your interest?
Not in Kirkwall.
I thought we could talk. Alone.
Perhaps I'm mistaken, but I've heard that you're involved with someone. Rumors spread quickly here. I wouldn't want anyone to get the wrong idea.
That's all for now.
Another...
Ну, я не хочу с ним заводить вообще, в принципе, эту тему. Ну, скажет этот Сос, ты пыталась с ним завести отношения? Я такой, и чё, бля, и чё? Ну и пыталась, что ты делаешь? Прикольно, в шахматы с ним поиграл. Прикольно было. Это он тут спит, да, наверное? Прохладно тут так-то всё. Поиграться надо. никого не отдам. Ну, вроде бы как все реально. Ну, там где кружки. Кружки уберите, а то это плохо будет. Кстати, да, я бы убрал бы эту херню. Вот это бы устраивало бы. Ну вот эту зачем надо? Пойдем. Также можно, конечно. Ну, нельзя поменять сразу. Да. Вот это прикольно, типа. Вроде как. О. Ну, типа S1, 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 S1. Подкол офигенно. Какими баблом? 10 тысяч. Просто думаю, стоит... Ну, не стоит, вдруг пригодятся. До защитника, я думаю, это имба на самом деле. Но это же типа, бля, грубо говоря, смерти.
To work?
At your service.
Let's see what we have.